This meeting is being transcribed and summarized.
Hello?
Okay, we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is a Town of Lloyd Board Workshop Agenda, November 5th, 2025. We're going to start with a proclamation. In November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, whereas pancreatic cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and it has the lowest 5-year survival rate of any major cancer. And more people will die from pancreatic cancer than breast cancer this year, and whereas so many close to us in our community have been affected by this cancer. Now, therefore, I, David Plapchak, Supervisor of Town of Lloyd, Ulster County, do hereby proclaim November 2025 as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in the Town of Lloyd. a month of empowerment, education, and inspiration for our community who have been touched by pancreatic cancer. It's our opportunity to shine a light on this disease, to elevate our voices and raise awareness. Okay, I will accept the motion to open the public hearing on the 2026 preliminary budget.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, the public hearing's open. I'll leave it open till for now, so if anybody wants to speak, we'll ask again. Okay, we're gonna go through reports. I know we have Frank's report. He had a leave, so he left us his report, and I know Adam sent us his report and cannot be here, so that's in here. We'll get to that in a minute. Richie, you might as well do yours, please.
Before you start, congratulations.
Okay.
Right now, we're trying to play catch-up. All the other towns are playing catch-up. You know, Rich, you got 3 trucks, Rich, you got this, Rich, you
I
got
put
that.
ketchup on a hamburger.
Yeah, but, you know, I've been sending trucks out to every different town there for the last 2 months. Dave, I went down and I got some of that swale in,
Yeah,
I don't know, and we patched the manhole up, so
Right.
maybe that'll help her. I got a little more paving to do down there, just a little bit more, and we'll get that straightened out. And maybe that'll relieve some of her problem there.
well, it's gonna alleviate some of it, not all of it,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
sure.
Did,
Then,
did you go down there when it was raining?
yeah.
I
So
had
did I.
said, pardon?
So did I.
But it's coming down the grass. That's what I asked her. I said, is it coming down the grass? She said, no. So you're gonna have to
I think
go.
it's coming around the corner, then it jumps.
Right, then it jumps
So
in the
that's
grass.
why we put the little berm,
That's
we
what I
gotta
thought
put
too.
a pickup berm up through there. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That's why we talked about the berm.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
good.
we took care of that, you know, filled the manhole in for
Okay.
her. All right, then, right now, we're, going,
Can you tell me where that is?
Huh?
Where is that?
That's 4 River Road. We're gonna have to actually have it on the agenda today. It's under old business.
we're gonna be starting leaves pretty soon. I wanna try to get some of these leaves out of the village, you know, before they get too out of control. And, still, you know, doing a little patching, blacktop, and then soil cleaning, but leaves are the big thing. I bought a blower for the tractor. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It does a hell of a job on the rail trail, so I hope we can do some of the ditches along the road with it.
You get
so.
too many trees, Rich.
Huh?
Get too many trees. Too many trees.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you live in the country.
Hey,
yes.
one other question. Somebody asked me about, so if you're coming from 9W South behind Stewart's on South Chapel Hill Road,
Yeah,
if you make the left onto Chapel Hill, somebody said that one of the arborvitaes, the high arborvitaes, is kind of blocking the vision now because it got bigger. I don't know if you want to check it out or not. I haven't
is
gone
that
down there.
at the church?
Yes.
Yeah, I can, I'll send Frankie down there, and if not, I'll go down and knock on her door.
Yeah, just check it, and I'm
I had the
not,
same problem out there on Roxanne Boulevard.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a tree there that they planted, people, and I said, you can't do this.
yeah, I just thought of it. I didn't want to forget it, so, thank you.
Right. Yeah, I'll get down there and check that out.
Okay, thank you.
Budget looks good for me, so I think
Okay.
I'll be all right with that.
Anybody have questions for Rich?
I have, the guy from the electric chargers, they want to put chargers in Bancardi. They need 4 or 5 trees taken down.
All right,
Now they're marked.
they're marked
They
already?
marked them today.
All right,
I don't remember if it's 4 or 5.
with the pine trees?
Uh,
Towards
I
the
didn't
bank?
go in there and look, to be honest with you.
Right.
But he said they're marked.
Did they get the pole up here? The light pole, did Braggs get that up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, because he calls me and says, I'm putting the pole up today, at 9 o'clock. Because the guys are gone already, you know? So I was worried about getting a pole down there, so.
Yeah, no, I believe it's
That-
already up. I think Mike and I just signed a bill.
All right, and that's about it. there's something on my mind and just,
It's called age.
huh?
Called
Cold age? Yeah,
Either that or too much champagne last night.
yeah, not me. No,
Okay, maybe
20,
remember,
25 years.
remember you could bring it back up, Rich.
All right, so I
Thank you.
think that's about it.
Thank you.
Anything you guys need, give me a holler.
Who do we talk to, or you talk to from the state about Milton Avenue? I had a couple people the other day ask me.
I can go call Dave Culligan up in the county.
Just see if he can go do something.
Yeah, you know, it's the same thing since I first got in office with Vineyard Avenue and the
Yes.
sidewalks. You know, they're gonna wait till they flop in the creek, then they'll come and do something. You know,
All right,
but, I'll give him a call tomorrow.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Barton, I skipped you. I don't know why.
Oh, he was hard fall. Thank you. You saw the report, I think Sarah sent it around. As expected, last month was a busier month than the previous. We had good weather, so people putting up sheds, an awful lot of solar permits I've signed recently, so maybe we will get electric in our lives soon. So Sarah and Nate are now taking the state certification classes. The state pays for that. They do it here in the office, so they can do other things while that is happening. I think Sarah's got 4 more, and Nate is just beginning his piece because it's on a rolling schedule. The state's been really good about making sure that the training happens, and they've finally moved almost to an entirely online training, which makes it so much easier for us than having to take a day off, travel, do the training, and then have to come back. We can stay here and do it all. So this month, last month, I participated in some meetings, did some data collection and map creation for the New York Forward Grant that we had a meeting on last week. Had a couple people turned out, which was fortunate. It's unfortunate it was such a rushed meeting, but there's a deadline associated with that grant. So
It's Friday.
this Friday. Yeah, so TikTok. Yeah, I don't know that I saw a finished polished draft today. Maybe it'll come later today.
Supposed to get it to us tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, good. I did work with the Town Hall Building Committee, did some data collection for them, for the review of the space needs in the Town Hall and the court. And I'm not sure what we want to do with any report that they get, because money. But that's for another time.
I think we just circulate it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I did have a preliminary discussion regarding properties on 9W north of Speedway, right there across from where the Chevy dealer used to be. There's some vacant lots there. There are several vacant lots, they're all very small. They're talking about doing something on a much smaller scale than what One Key, which is the Chevy dealer, wants to do. But again, it would follow our zoning, commercial first floor facing 9W, and possibly residential above or behind. No drive-throughs. And I had a really interesting discussion about a possible use for the Hudson Valley Wine Village. Again, I've had many discussions about the Hudson Valley Wine Village over the years. This one happens to be associated with yoga and a spa. They would do a facility mostly for their own guests at the spa. They are aware that there is one in Marlboro, right down the road, so it could be sort of a destination sort of umbrella in that area. It would be great use for that property. There's already a resort/conference center built into the zoning, and they would only use one portion of that site, and the other portions would stay sort of what they are now zoned. There would not be a need for zoning, just a site plan. So we'll see what they do. Again, I've had many meetings like that over the years, and they've come to naught so far. Last month, we had a safety committee meeting, and a few items from that are in progress that came out of that. We are updating and separating the panic alarms in Town Hall. Anthony spoke to John Crispy again on Monday. Crispy gave us a quote for the part that we need to separate. I'll back up a little bit. Right now, all the panic alarm buttons in the Town Hall, and some of you may not even know they exist, travel through the court. Right, the court has a system, and they've had a system for years where one of the clerks can push a button, triggers an alarm, it goes to a monitor company, that company calls 911, and we get all sorts of, black and whites with lights on show up. It's actually worked quite well. Unfortunately, the day we did it, that we tested it, we found out that it did fire in the court. And the court, when the monitoring company called the court, they said no problem. So no black and whites, no police cars showed up. No fault of the police. So, like we do everything else with the court versus the town, we're going to separate them out. Crispy's going to set it up. John Crispy is going to set it up so the part that we ordered, which is about $400 or so, I okayed that on Monday. That should be in shortly. It'll take about an hour to put the part in. He will then program all of the town hall buttons through that controller, and I asked him for 6 more because there are some locations where they could better serve the people behind the glass. In Wendy's office, for example, right by the glass where people speak. And so I ordered 6 more, and so they will also be programmed for the separation. There were a couple other shortcomings which we're correcting right now, but hopefully this time next week we should have that all set up so that if anything comes and happens, everybody has access to a button very quickly. And then I met with Lieutenant Rollison last week. We took a nice ride around town. He didn't buy me ice cream like he promised, but which is how he got me in the car. We visited and planned out where all the cameras were going to be for the parks. As you know, we have cameras in Town Hall now, mostly for security, for after-event stuff, and for vandalism prevention. Excuse me. There are 2 cameras now at Tony Williams on the facilities building there. They point sort of south and east. So I get some of the parking lot, very little, and both fields and the playground. So we've been talking for quite a while about adding more cameras to the parks. Oddly enough, when Rollo and I visited the Bob Shepherd, the pavilion, the Stacey Pavilion, Bragg was there making some corrections to something that had just been vandalized.
Right.
And it was perfectly appropriate that we were there at the time. So we've mapped out Bob Shepherd, Highland Landing, Berrien Park, Tony Williams, Highway Garage, and the Stacey Pavilion. We know how many cameras they need. Rollo was very good about kind of figuring out line of sight on things. And all, I believe, but Highland Landing has internet. Is that right?
Correct.
Still? Yeah.
Correct, it's all
So,
installed.
So I guess we'll have that discussion when we're ready to,
Yep.
if we're ready to pull the trigger. That's all I got.
Do they have to be hardwired?
They are hardwired,
they
yeah.
are
Yeah,
hardwired.
they are hardwired.
Just like here.
Well, no, the conversation about the rail trail was with the murals under the
Oh, you
tunnel.
can't get them that far, yeah.
Yeah, so we need power to
Yeah.
get to those locations. It would be, we could do,
Well, we got a guy coming to look at solar-powered lights. Yeah,
Lights-
right now, the lights that are in there are on a battery, which is,
I mean, lights are one thing,
Ludicrous.
cameras would be a different animal. There would need to be a battery, it would be a whole system that you'd have to set up, mount
Well,
up
but the,
high.
the cameras wouldn't reach the internet
They
out
wouldn't,
there.
you'd have to put a cellular
Yeah, they're not
dialer
gonna-
in, it'd be very
they're not
expensive,
gonna
I think.
reach.
Yeah,
The
so-
wireless won't reach that
curious
far.
question.
Yeah, I mean, when Rollo and I were up at Tony Williams, and Frank and I have had this conversation as well, Frank Alfonso, one place we do not have any line of sight at all is up at the courts, tennis courts or the basketball courts. So people can come into that parking lot and park there, and we would have no idea all night long. One of the goals here was to allow a dispatcher, for example, if they have a slow moment. You guys have slow moments at night? Yeah, okay, good. If they have a slow moment, they can just check out the camera, see if there's a car in the parking lot, send somebody out to investigate, because as you know, we're all dawn to dusk parks. So there's a plan for 4 cameras up on the pole right behind the pavilion where the concession stand is. And those will all be hardwired as well. In fact, all the ones that we mapped out, about 40 cameras in all across all the parks, will all be hardwired, about 40 cameras, yeah. More or less. Might be more as we get into it and realize maybe we don't have coverage in one location, but Roland and I think that's just how it goes. So that's all I got. Any questions?
Anybody have questions for Dave?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, Chief. Yeah, Joan's report is in here, by the way, so I think I skipped through that she put hers in here. I know she's been working on that historical designation.
Good afternoon. A monthly activity report for October. Calls of service, we had 1,178 calls, 56 accidents, 42 are property damage, 12 are personal injury. The department issued 85 tickets for the month, 1 parking, 84 uniform traffic tickets. We had 21 arrests. Some activities for the month, October 7th, we had Cops and Coffee. October 11th, Highland Fire Department had their Public Safety Day. Officer Garcia was there to do child safety seat checks. October 18th, Lloyd Police attended Lowe's First Responders Day. October 18th, the Alzheimer's Walk was on the walkway over the Hudson. We dedicated 2 officers for that event because it brings in thousands of people for it. October 19th, they had the ALS Walk. Again, that's a major event on the walkway. We had 2 officers assigned to that. October 25th was Halloween in the Hamlet. It was a big year this year. We had 3 officers assigned to that event. It was successful and no issues. And then Halloween night, we had about 5 extra officers on patrol throughout the town, and it was low-key and uneventful also. Training, we finished up our drone operator training, so right now, currently, we have 10 members, including all supervisors are trained now in operation of the drone. And then we had in-house training from the district attorney's office on DWI and report writing. We had 1 overdose and a Narcan use for the month.
Any questions for Chief?
No.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, recreations and grounds, as I said, Frank couldn't make it, so he left his report. I was looking at it. I know he's had some repairs and turned the water off at Tony Williams and Barry Ann's mid-November, so that's, you can read through that and ask him if you have any questions. Wendy, anything for us?
No, we turned over, the assessor's office turned over the unpaid water bills to the county today, I think it was. So those will be levied onto the 2026 property taxes. And then tomorrow, the November water bills will go out.
Okay, thank you. And water and sewer, Adam, as I said, couldn't make it. He put his info in here. A couple of things I think of that are key is item number 3, the HABs, the harmful algae blooms, have decreased over the past month. A lot of it had to do with the rain and changing the weather, and also the sodium content is now below the what's in advisory levels. So I think the rain has helped that also. And then the only other thing that I'll point out is under projects and repairs. If you remember, we had the problem with the regulator, the gas regulator for the generator. That's been correct, and the generator has started up and it's online. So that's good news. Okay, moving on to old business. We talked a little bit about this before, but if you remember, Four River Road is where there's been deterioration on both sides of the hillside, and we have the sewer line that runs from Washington Avenue down through there. So we looked, so we were looking, if you remember back in the middle of the year, we actually had an engineering team from Long Island who wanted to do some grant work, and they spent a couple weeks at it, and then they kind of disappeared. We hadn't hired them, but they were going to do it and put the grant in, and then based on the grant decide, whether or not, they wanted to take the job on. So we hadn't heard back from them. A couple of us met with the owner a couple weeks ago, talked through some avenues, and I think Richie mentioned it in his report. We did put a swell on a little berm there to try and divert the water and filled in a basin that we believe was put in in late 1980s by the homeowner. It was not put in by the town. So we're filling that in so it doesn't dump into the hillside also. So the question, I think, on this one is, we had also talked about, since we do have a sewer line there that goes across there, and since there will continue to be deterioration, should we hire an engineering firm to do a report and a proposal? And I don't have the proposal back yet. I'm going to assume, though, it's going to be between $15,000 and $20,000. That's normally what the first pass is. So I think it's something, I'll get the formal proposal back, and once we get that, then the board can vote on it. But That's what I think it'll be, and that'll be probably a preliminary report. It won't be a full MPR because that becomes more extensive as always, right? So I don't know if anybody had questions on that or had any thoughts on it.
Why don't we wait to see what Richie's gonna do with the curving there?
What's that?
Richie was gonna put the curving in and how it would divert a lot of that water. Then the only problem we got is we got the creek.
You got the creek coming down, yeah. So, and we were actually talking about, I think you were here that day, Mike, we were talking about if we fixed the other problem, we'd probably have more coming down the creek, right? Because it would come down faster, not more, but just the velocity would be higher. Because there's not a good set of hydraulics in there anyway. Okay, so I will continue to get the proposal, I've already asked for it, and then I'll bring it forward. And then we can decide what to do from there. Any other questions on that? Okay, a new business privilege to the floor? Yeah,
Do you have information on the painting in the back? I hadn't seen that before.
oh, yeah, you were out traversing
Yes.
Europe or Prague or wherever you were at the time. That painting is of the old blue house that used to be on Oaks Road that's been taken down, and it was donated to us by Ethan Jackman. And he donated it to the town hall, and we picked it up one day, and it kind of fit, that's about the only spot it fit in, but it's a great picture, and it's actually pretty good to look at from here. So, yeah, it's,
The gentleman has a website, the artist.
yeah.
I'm sorry?
The artist has a website, if you want to go.
Oh, okay.
And of note, Mark, that's a 71 Maverick in the driveway.
And how long ago was that house there? Or taken down?
Yeah, years ago, it was taken down, yeah. Probably 80s or 90s, right?
Yeah, it was,
The house burned.
Yeah,
Right now, the A-frame system, a
right.
log A-frame system.
Right,
Yeah, there's another house there now.
right.
But it is a nice painting, and it kind of fit right in that spot, so
Thanks.
you're welcome. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, if not, we'll move on to motions and resolutions. So Resolution A is to approve the intermunicipal agreement between Town of Lloyd and the Highland Central School District for the town's defense of the tax certiorari proceedings filed by Lowe's contesting the town's assessment of their property. And you could read the intermunicipal agreement, but it's basically, we're gonna split the cost with them of an appraiser. And we got the costs on it, right?
It was
$8,000, so we're gonna split the cost of the appraiser, of the appraisal. It's really a preliminary appraisal, because we think on this one, it's the way they did the appraisal versus how it's done now. They were using some old data, so we're gonna get the preliminary appraisal done, and the school district has agreed to split the cost with us. So that's what this is. If you want me to read all the whereases, I will do that. But it's pretty, we talked about it before, I think, a couple times. So I'm going to read towards the end of it then. Therefore, it's agreed as follows. The parties enter into this agreement in recognition that the defense of the tax certiorari proceedings filed by Lowe's against the town is a matter of mutual interest and concern for the town and the school district, and the preliminary or restricted appraisal to be secured and paid for by the town in connection with the town's defense of such proceedings is for the mutual benefit of the town and the district. The district hereby agrees to pay an amount not to exceed $4,000 to the town's contribution towards the cost of the preliminary restricted appraisal as part of the defense of the tax certiorari. Town acknowledges and agrees that the district's decision to contribute payment in the aid of town's expense incurred in connection with defending the case, the Lowe's claim, is limited solely to this proceeding and shall not constitute a binding precedent on the district's contribution to town's further defense on the certiorari proceedings commenced by any party against the town under Article 7 of the real property tax law. Can I get a motion?
motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, Resolution B, whereas New York State retirement on April 2024 passed the state law to employees that had excluded overtime pay earned from April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2024 from the calculation of Tier 6 contribution rates, whereas a letter dated October 20, 2025, and received from New York State Retirement on October 24th, 2025, lists refunds due to employees that NYSER will be crediting to the Town of Lloyd employer reporting account. And whereas New York State Retirement included vouchers to pay employees, and they submitted the funds to the Town of Lloyd to disperse, and therefore on November 5th, the bookkeeper will pay out the employees listed as per the vouchers from New York State Retirement for a total amount of $4,543.60. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, oh, I made you wait all this time. I forgot what you were here for. Resolution C is to accept a resignation of Molly Erickson as a part-time dispatcher effective November 5th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, Resolution D is to hire Molly Erickson as a non-competitive permanent full-time dispatcher for the Ulster County Civil Service with an annual salary of $45,627 and a start date of November 5th, 2025.
Motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Thank you, Molly.
Thanks,
Thank you, Molly. Congratulations. Okay, before I do, anybody else to speak on the public hearing on local law E for 2025? If not, can I get a motion to close the public hearing on local law E for 2025?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then we'll move on to Resolution F. This is local law E, which gives you the ability, if you had to override the tax cap, which we're not in a position that we're gonna have to do that, we don't believe, but it's recommended that we do this and then rescind it when we close the budget, which is what we've done the last couple of years.
More than that.
We just don't file it, right, not rescind it. Wrong word. Right. So Resolution F, whereas the local law E, the override tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3C, was introduced at a meeting of Town Board on 15th day of October, 2025, at 7 o'clock. And whereas within the local laws, a type 2 action pursuant to state seeker and is exempt from further proceedings, whereas a public hearing has been held on the 29th day of October at 4 o'clock, at which time all interested parties were given an opportunity to be heard. And now therefore be it resolved that local law E be enacted in the form attached here to a Schedule A as fully as if set forth herein, being a local law to amend, override tax levy 1 limit established in the general law, Section 3C. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, this is something we do every year, every budget cycle, for a long, long time. It's done every budget cycle. Thank you.
Anybody else? Are you going to take a roll call, Wendy?
Hovcek,
Yes.
Akmoody.
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, Resolution G is to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2025-2026 Ulster County Stop DWI High Visibility Engagement Campaign effective October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, anything else the board has tonight?
No.
I just had a quick question regarding the budget. I don't know, I believe it's done in the past, but I was just curious if we wanted to set like a a base pay for newly elected officials or, appointed officials, so that, there's kind of a rate as to which they enter.
It's probably not a bad practice to do it at some point. I don't know. This year we'll have if we have one newly elected, because the others are all the same, right?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking in general, for future.
Okay, I mean, we talked about it before we get to the
Okay.
budget closure, but it's a good point. We should have what the bases are.
That's what Ray did on his last budget.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just make a note of it here. Okay, anything else? Right, Lenny? Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you. You gonna work tonight, Mullen?
Best of luck, dear.
Yeah, Sean, that one was 4 times. What's that? Yeah, 4 times. It's like. You do 4 times straight, right? Yeah. Oh, you do it 4 times? 4 straight, so there's an X on the bridge, so before you. Oh, that's, yeah. Hold it together. It was cracked. All right, thanks. Well, swallow it. I'm 66, I'm almost there.